And while we really appreciated that and respected that, the kids did not. I mean, we're Americans. We don't travel by train here. For somebody who does a lot of road tripping, this is like road tripping, but like way better. It said 2 adults, not kids. Just like that. And this is probably showing my American ignorance, which is embarrassing on the internet. Up until now, we've only done Oslo. We landed, it was rough. We had 2 adults, 4 kids, backpacks, bad weather, surprises, right? The one thing I knew we were gonna do for sure, because I did not plan Oslo, my husband planned Oslo and he did great. It was so much fun. The rest of the trip was mine. Bergen became an option only because I had seen the Bergen train and I was like, yes, please. I'd never heard of Bergen before. Ignorance, I get it. And then I saw something on TikTok or Instagram of somebody doing the railway. And I was like, stop it. Stop, this is amazing. I have to see this. When we moved to Germany, we moved in the middle of COVID. Like August 2020 is when we landed in Germany. So in Germany, they were very strict with mitigations and very careful with people's health. And while we really appreciated that and respected that, the kids did not. When you're on public transportation, you had to wear a mask. So even if you explain this to a child, they're still gonna hate the mask, right? We chose to avoid public transportation as much as possible. In our travels from Germany, you can see them wearing masks. You can see us wearing masks, but we drove. We did a lot of road trips so that we could have the freedom to be in our own isolated car, no masks, no worries. We had been traveling by every other mode of transportation where we didn't have to wear a mask, and that's why we never knew what a train. I mean, we're Americans. We don't travel by train here. I wish. I wish. When they dropped the mandatory masks for trains, game changer. You travel with kids? Yeah, you? You travel with kids? Try a train. Best thing ever. You got a toilet on a train. You can walk around on a train. You don't have to wear seatbelts on a train. There's night trains where you literally sleep in a bunk bed on the train while it takes you there, while you're snoozing. For somebody who does a lot of road tripping, this is like road tripping, but like way better. In a car, yes, you have that freedom, but they're buckled. They're behind you usually, or like nobody can really get out. On a train, there are no seatbelts. On a train, you can go to the toilet. On a train, they have family cars where you have like places to wiggle and play. On a train, you have a dining car. On a train, you can stand up and walk around. On a train, you can work if you wanted to. You can read. You're not driving. It's amazing. I love the train. Ugh, especially with kids. Ooh. When my youngest was potty training, traveling by train when she was potty training, game changer. Game changer. You need to go potty? We'll walk to the toilet. Yeah, amazing, right? Yeah. We fell in love with trains. So when we planned this whole trip, we were going to be traveling mostly by train. Every once in a while there was a Ryanair in there, but mostly it was by train. We knew we were going to take a night train a couple times. We knew we were going to travel the long distances by train. It's just faster, it's easier. It's so much our favorite for kids. In reality, we did road trip more often than we wanted to. That's for later. Something that I've learned along the way of traveling with the kids is how much it fills my soul to see these things, to experience these things and to share them with my kids. Sometimes the trip revolves around what mom wants to do. And it just so happens to be pretty awesome. I don't think I've picked anything where I'm like, yeah, this is what I want to do. And everybody else is like, this is the most miserable thing ever. I'm sure there's something. I do remember pulling the mom card once. I think it was in Paris. I was like, nope, we're doing this. Mom needs this. But I don't do that very often. I usually, it's a team thing. So I wanted to do this so bad. It was gorgeous. And so we took the train. The Bergen train, it goes from Bergen to Oslo. There are many different ways to do this. One is just simply getting a ticket. If you want physical tickets, you do need to buy them ahead of time. They mail them to you. If you're worried you will forget them or lose them, or they'll get lost in the mail and won't get to you in time, you can also buy them at the local train station, which is what we did. I don't know about high tour season because we did go there in the end of May, so it wasn't peak season. If you're more worried about running out of space on the train, I would order them ahead of time and have them mailed to you. You missed out on some of the views because we had clouds and rain and even snow. And from what I understand, it's a more expensive train. There's even a company that does like packages with this train. So if you have more time to spend, I highly recommend it. We wanted to do it so badly, but I think it was like a week-long experience, lots of excursions. I felt like it was worth it for what they were offering. It wasn't the only thing we were doing this summer. So one, it is expensive. It's Scandinavia. You don't come to Scandinavia to get a cheap trip. Maybe to land in Oslo. On the train to Bergen, you stop multiple times, and they will tell you in multiple languages to get off here, come back in this time. So you can explore the stops. Some people get off, stay there, get back on later. I don't know how that works. I actually chose not to do that because I couldn't quite figure out, how do you get back on the train? Do you have to buy a ticket for each day? I don't know. I think that's when that package comes in handy. So if you're gonna go on this train with your kids, I would pack snacks, definitely have cash, or be prepared to buy food at the dining car. They stop at various places. You can get off and buy something there. It's not very long, but you could take photos, stretch, get some sunshine. We went in May, so we ran into snow and rain. On the way back though, was beautiful weather. We didn't get to enjoy that. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Something I've learned from when we lived in Germany is flexibility and creating pockets for pivots. You have to. There are so many things that pop up that you did not see coming. Sometimes nobody saw coming, like protests or strikes. That happens all the time in Europe, all the time. And I'd never been to Scandinavia, so I didn't know like the reality of what happens. You always have the ideas of what happened, the reality. Okay, so due to pockets for pivots, I should make a slogan. I feel like as a mom, you get it. Your whole life is a pocket for pivots. Okay, so we bought the train tickets at the Oslo station, and it was super easy to do. We had the EU Rail Pass, which does make a significant difference on the price. So if you're already going to travel by train and you like the EU Rail Pass, then use that. It made a huge difference. On the Bergen train, they have big windows. You get to see the most amazing views. You go through all sorts of terrain. You get to see the iconic red buildings in the middle of nowhere. Like, it just doesn't seem like real life. It's so beautiful. So bring your camera. And on top of that, you get to stop at various stops and even sometimes get out. They'll notify you how much time you have, and I think they even like blow the whistle to like notify you to get back on if you're still in the store. Because we did go in the store at least 1 or 2 times to get treats or snacks. They do have a dining car, I believe. I don't remember if we used it or not. And I mean, it was more because it was fun to grab treats and fun things. One of the stops, we stopped, I felt like longer than the rest, but it was, we had reached a spot with snow. And these kids were over the moon about the snow. Oh man, it was like the highlight of their life that they got snow in the summer. These kids are from the deep south, okay? So they don't get snow very often, except for in Germany, and they miss it like crazy. So they enjoyed that snow. They played in it. I'm pretty sure somebody ate some. I was really grateful we were able to get those jackets in Oslo because we definitely used them in Bergen. Not just in the snow, but when we got to Bergen, it was nonstop rain there. Okay, that's not fair. In Bergen, it's going to rain at least one time a day, which I feel like is fair. You're right there on the coast. It makes sense. It didn't bother us. We were used to living our lives, rain or shine, from our Germany days. It does make it hard to see, I feel like. Like it made me on edge because this was our first city where I was back to just me and the kids. When you're the only set of eyes and your eyes are partially blocked by a hood the whole time because of rain, it is really stressful to make sure that you're seeing all your little ducks in a row and making sure they cross the street in time. Nobody's nabbing them, nobody's bugging them. The best part is in Scandinavia, we felt so safe. We felt so safe. Never once was it a legitimate worry that somebody was going to do something to my kids. The biggest worry was if my kids didn't see a car or crossed or something, but they're so aware of pedestrians, it really wasn't a threat. There was really no real threat to my children other than themselves. Yeah, it's still summertime. They're still going to bicker every once in a while and wrestle. They're like little bear cubs. They just wrestle all the time. So we explored Bergen for 3 days. I kind of wish we stayed longer because the weather cleared up and got warmer the last day, and it was amazing. Amazing. I love Bergen. It's gorgeous. It's peaceful. It wasn't as quiet as Oslo, which I loved because I was getting tired of telling my kids to be quiet, even though they were just talking at a normal level. I think I was getting too sensitive at this point. After the train, we checked into our apartment, which seemed to have a miscommunication. I don't know if it was my fault or the system. I don't know what happened. I didn't know until we got there that we had one bed. This apartment was amazing and would have been perfect for 2 adults. On the one bed, we had the 3 girls sleep sideways, so they all fit on the bed. Parker got the couch, I got the floor. We just made it work. And so I didn't bring it up to the booking. I didn't bring it up to the host. I just made it work. I don't know why. I think part of the stress of being on my own again with the kids was starting to sink in. And in hindsight, I should have just talked to somebody because I'm pretty sure every single room in that building was like a short-term rental. And we could have just switched to a bigger one. I don't know. Like I said, I'm very frugal. And so in my mind, if you can just make it work, just make it work. It didn't hinder our experience though. It was fine. After we recognized the situation, it did add a little bit of stress because I was constantly worried that somebody was going to be like, hey, it said 2 adults, not kids. Just like that. But nobody came. I don't even think anybody would have cared. We landed there and it's got its summer sunshine, right? We have summer sunshine. So it's bright until 11. Not great for flipping your kids' time zones, but great for adventuring. Yeah. We decided after we checked into our apartment that we were going to go back out, get Wiggles out. Nobody was ready for bed yet, apparently. So we walked all the way to the funicular to go up to the top of the mountain. You get in and you ride up to the top And they give you about 10, 15 minutes before the next one heads back down, which was nice because you were able to get the view of the city, pictures. You were able to wander over to the playground. It was so cold and windy though that we did not stay and play. I was like kind of rushing the kids. It was so cold and so wet, and I did not want sick kids. And no, we did not have our rain pants or rain boots. We just, yeah, again, this was such a small portion of our trip that this was not the main focus of our packing list. We did not play as long as Milo wanted to. She made that very clear. Poor thing. Then we came back down, walked all the way back, still bright outside, and, you know, in bed for the night. The next day, way colder, way rainier. I feel like it's like the theme. The second day, way rainier, way colder. It's like we tricked you into staying. The only part I didn't like about the rain and the wind was the fact that I felt I couldn't see everybody all the time. It's kind of stressful as a mom. I'm a stressed out mess on the inside, especially when it comes to my kids and safety. So, first day, done. Second day, it's still raining, and it's windy raining, like a lot of raining. Okay, and it's consistent. It's nonstop raining and windy and cold. The kids had such good attitudes about it. They never complained. They didn't complain about the rain. They complained about other things. They complain about walking. But this is because they just got out of school where like 8 hours a day they just sit there. So, and no children were harmed in the making of this video.